Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're a returning subscriber and if you're new to this channel, welcome back. My name is Yvonne Jerry, otherwise known as Jerry Kamau, and this channel is all about orphan, being an orphan, growing up as an orphan, and any other thing between them. Yeah, it's the meat in the sandwich or the sausage in the hot dog. Yeah, the everything in between, growing up as an orphan and everything else. So welcome back, and kindly subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. So in today's video I'll be talking more about loneliness, and loneliness is something that hits orphans very hard, and it hits them to an extent that sometimes they can't be able to control it, and instead they showcase it, and you might think they're just being ignorant or something, but wanajificha too, if I may say so. So welcome. So today I'll start by explaining who an orphan is. So an orphan is a person who has lost both parents. That's what I'm going to talk about, because I'll be talking more precise from experience and from stories that I've heard from other people. And growing up as an orphan sometimes can be difficult, and sometimes it can be challenging, because once you've lost the person that you love, then you feel like you're all alone in the world. So let's get into it. So today I'll be talking about loneliness. As you all know, loneliness is like drifting away from people, separating yourself from things, maybe from your surrounding or from other people, maybe, or it's that feeling, yeah, like kujitenga. You just feel lonely, or you just feel out of place, because maybe you used to identify so much with your parents or something. So losing a parent sometimes is very hard. Not sometimes, it's very hard. And let's start by saying that loneliness is something that can lead, not it can, it leads to depression. And many people will not understand it. Many people tend to think that orphans is just ignorant, but we are not, or they're not, because it's what they go through. Losing a parent is something very, very hard, something that it takes a lot of time to contemplate, a lot of time to even accept. I'm not saying things because I've already accepted my parents, like death or something. I lost them way back when I was around 7, but thankfully I had relatives who took care of us. Me, my brother, my sister, and I. They were good, and they were good enough to us. They took care of us. We were able to school. We were able to get the basic needs and all that stuff. And like other people who were just left there to go to the streets and roam. Yes, we had people in our lives, but we've always felt like you'll always feel lonely, because a parent, the bond between a child and a parent is something that you can't even explain. Because unapata hata mzazi wako atakuchapa, but you won't take it to heart as much as if a stranger beats you or something, maybe, and it's because of maybe of the same thing. So growing up, I've always felt so alone, so alone, because sikuwa najua nita-identify na nani, sikuwa najua how to deal with situations. Yes, I've had people who have taken care of me, who have given me the basic needs, who have supported me when I needed their help, and they're still there in my life. But I've never really been able to identify with people, and I tend to just allow people into my life. Before I learned my lessons the hard way, by the way, but I used to tend to just allow people in my life, not caring about the impact they're bringing into my life, just because I felt lonely and I wanted to get rid of this loneliness. I wanted people who just be there in my life, whether they are toxic or whatever. I really didn't care, but it really cost me. In another video I'll tell you how it cost me, like just not having boundaries or telling people this is it, you can't do this to me. That cost me a lot. So in the cost of wanting to fight loneliness, I ended up allowing all sorts of people in my life, and they really ruined my life to a greater extent. But I thank God that, as my name goes, Yvonne is a warrior. I fought through it, and here I am telling you how to beat loneliness, and how other people, and how you should allow other people to help you beat loneliness. Not everybody's coming into your life to destroy you. Some people are coming to help you. Some people are coming to be there for you. So don't just chase away all people. As an orphan, sometimes even being able to identify with people, it's really hard. You just feel like your mom would understand you better, or your dad would understand you better, but now they're gone. You need to accept that it's hard, but every day make a step of telling it to yourself, they are gone, they're not coming back. Like personally, I've fought so much with the fact that I used to be like, if my mom was here, she would understand why I've done this, or I would have explained to how I have done this. Or if my dad was here, I would have had what I want right now. Maybe if it's a good phone, I would have gotten a good phone. Maybe if it's whatever I wanted, maybe I would have gotten it. But then when it came to a time when they realized that they're not here, I'll always be alone. I'll always have to fight my battles. They're not here to fight my battles. You know, that's when I decided to, every day I used to remind myself, Yvonne, as you do everything, remember your parents are not here. You're here alone. You need to do this. So as an orphan, you need to first of all accept, more especially if you've grown up without your parents, maybe lost them at an early age of, before you hit your teenage life or before you hit 20 plus. I don't mean that those who have lost their parents after they're 20, they don't face loneliness. Yes, they do. But talking from experience, I lost my parents when I was still so young. And I've really had to fight so hard to beat the loneliness I've always felt, because loneliness will lead you to depression. I remember at a certain time in my life, I used not to talk. My auntie can witness this. I used not to talk to people. I would just, if people came to the sitting room, I'd go to the bedroom. If they came to the house, I'd go outside. And people never really used to understand. I think somebody else that I know also does that. He hates being in a crowded area. And it's not because ati hawapendi, but they just feel out of place. They don't see anybody to identify with. That's being lonely. That's like really being lonely. Like, hata sijui vile naweza explain hii concept ya loneliness, but if you're an orphan out there, just know not everybody is coming to ruin you. Not everybody is going to be toxic. Some people are coming to help you in your life. I'll tell you of my best friend. My best friend is called Francis Nganga, and he lives in Nakuru. I'm currently living in Kiambu County. And despite the distance, oh, I have like 2 best friends. Can you have 2 best friends? Yeah, I think I have 2 best friends. I have Francis Nganga and Usla Riziki, because if I don't mention Usla in this video, she's definitely going to kill me. So, and Usla Riziki, and these two guys have been like, I don't know, a gem in my life. I met Nash before I met Usla, and Nash has been there. I met him back in 2016. He has been there every step of my way. He has not made me feel like you're always messing up your life. He has made me realize that I can have a friend despite the distance. I don't go home as much nowadays, but even when I used to live in Nakuru, it's not like we used to even meet every day. I would go even for a whole and we'll only meet once for less than 2 hours. But he has shown me the value, that he has taught me that despite the distance, even if we don't meet every day, you will always have somebody here. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to be your friend. I'm here to keep you company for the rest of your life. You know, I've seen him have girlfriends. I've seen him lose his girlfriends. He has seen me go through some dark sides of life, and he has always been there for me. So that is a lesson to every other person. Don't just chase people away. At least give them a chance. And do, but when you see they're crossing your boundaries, or if you feel they're always pissing you off, then just cut them. Yeah, people don't understand. I don't know if I'm the only person, but if right now, not back then in the days, but right now, if I feel you're overstepping your lane, then I'll just cut you off. But for Nash, he has been there for me. Like, Nash, wherever you are, I just want you to know I care about you. Usla is another gem in my life. I met her in 2018. Yeah, 2018. Yeah, 2018. And she's been a great friend. We've seen each other's dark side. We've seen each other messed up their life, but yeah, she has been there for me. She has taught me that, girl, you always have a sister. You have a best friend here with me. Yeah, and these 2 people, I can really call them like good people. Okay, like I have so many, like I don't have so many friends. I can count them. I'll actually say them. I have Ben, I have Usla, I have Nash, I have Mikey, and who else? I don't think I have any other close friends. These are my like my all called 2 friends. And these people have helped me fight loneliness. One way or the other without them even being able to know, because I've really now been able to identify with people. As I sit in a crowd of people, I'm able to realize I can rhyme with this guy, I can live with this person, but I can't rhyme with this other one. So what is my point? My point is, don't just chase everybody away, but if they overstep your lane, cut them off. Don't face loneliness alone. Some people are here to help you. Some people just need to call them and don't feel at home. They might not necessarily be your relatives, but there's always somebody outside there who's willing to listen. I am here, and if you're an orphan out there and you're listening to me, I'll always be here. You can always reach to me in the description box. You'll find my details, and you can always reach out, and I'll be a friend. Let me just say I'll be a friend, because it's hard being an orphan. It's really hard. Secondly, another thing I'd like to really share about is like relatives, if I may say so, and family and friends and other people may not really be able to understand you, but you have to express yourself. For the longest time in my life, I've never been really able to express myself, like tell somebody, stucky he, I'm not comfortable with this. But I just want to let you know that you have a right to speak for yourself. If you don't want it, don't let anybody force you into it. I'll tell you a story another day, but don't let anybody force you into doing anything that you didn't want to do, because in most cases you end up getting hurt and you end up feeling lonely in that place. Yeah, take it from me, you'll always end up feeling lonely. So just speak your mind out. If you're forced into something that you really don't want, just let them know, I don't want this, and there's no you forcing me to do this. Speak out your mind, and with time they'll learn to respect your boundaries. That goes to the relatives, the friends. Don't, just because they are orphans or just because you brought them up, let them not be there to kusikiza si wa kuongea. Like they're always there to listen and not to speak. Give them a chance to speak, because if they don't speak to you, or if you don't give them room to speak to you, then who are they going to speak to? They end up getting into crimes, into drugs, maybe into other things that you really didn't imagine, which all the way you've always thought, I've taught this girl well, I've taught this boy well, but because you didn't give them a chance to speak their minds out, they were always supposed to listen without question, they end up feeling lonely, and the first chance they get where they're able to conquer the loneliness, whether it's in drugs, whether it's in sugar mummies, whether it's in sugar daddies, whether it's in whatever crime they find peace at, that's where they're going to fall. And then you'll end up saying, oh, tulimlea vizuri lakini sasa ameharibika. Give them a chance. Get to know what's going on in their life. And excuse me, forgive me, I have a cold. Just give them a chance to speak. It goes a really a long way, just letting them speak out. Because like me, I'll tell you honestly, I've never really been able, more especially my relatives, I was never really able to tell them, I'm not doing this just because I'm not comfortable with it. I'll always flow with the tune, because they made me feel like you're only supposed to listen, not to speak. And even if you speak, you're not listening to you. You get my point? Because you'll speak, and at the end of the day, they still make you feel like whatever you're saying doesn't make sense, or more, you're not agreeing to whatever you say. It's very important to let these kids speak. They are going through a lot of hurt. They have just lost somebody they loved, somebody they identified with. So give them room to speak, listen to them, understand them, because this way will help them fight loneliness. I'll say it's one of the, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but I'll say it's one of the leading causes of depression, because once you feel lonely, like uko tu, you don't care, you uko tu. So I just feel like, give them chance, give them time to talk. Yeah, really do give them time to talk and listen. Just don't let them speak. Listen to them and understand them. You guys, those guys who are taking care of us, you really do a good job, and kudos to each and every one of you, and may God bless you abundantly on behalf of them. Sometimes it's hard for us to say that, because we tend to only see the negative sides of everything. Yeah, I don't know why, I don't know how, but most orphans that I've even spoken to only tend to see the bad side of their relatives. Like, it's very hard. Yes, I also speak some positive side about my relatives, but in most cases you'll only see the negative, just like any other human being. But I just think ours is just a little bit exaggerated some way to give them a chance. Yeah, but thank you so much for always for taking care of the orphans that are left behind. And if you're an orphan and somebody's taking care of you, it's not going to be easy. It's really not going to be easy, because you'll always feel like if my mom was here, they would have treated me a little better. If my mom was here, I would be happy. If my mom would be here, it's not easy forgetting or accepting the fact that you'll never see your parents again. But one thing I always say, you need to accept, because it's the only way your life will move on. Kubali wako 6 feet under, you're not seeing them again unless you're in heaven. And it heals you, it gives you a sense of peace, it even makes your life move on a little bit smoother. Sometime back I used to be so much hindered. I wouldn't do anything without really considering. For example, even before I shot this video, I've really postponed shooting my first video, my second video after, I don't know, from 2016. And I've really postponed. I've always said, I'll transition, but the main reason why I didn't start is because I always found a reason. I would always say, sasa hata mamangu hayuko hapa ku watch what I can do, hata my dad is not here to cheer me up or to support me, you know. But I've come to accept. I've not really accepted like 100%. Let's just say I'm like at a 70 or at a 60. I'm not so sure. But with the time that I've come to accept, I've realized that they're not here. I need to move on with my life. Now that I have a chance to live, I need to move on with my life. And it's until the time that I decided to accept that, I've really been able to make milestones in my life. I've really been able to even make decisions of my life. But well, some of them have really made me mess, but I've learned from them. That's what they say. So when I say learn from your mistakes. Yeah, so I've really learned from them. But I've lost chances though, because I always felt like I wish mama angekuwa around. Hata sasa ninafanya nifurahishe nani, ama ninafanya for and nobody is there going to cheer me. But once I started accepting, I've even found some kind of inner peace. But it's not easy. I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight. It's not easy. I've fought loneliness until right now. I really don't. I speak a lot. For those who know me, unataka kumaanisha msichana anakuanga lonely. Yeah, I speak a lot. Me ni chiriku. But you know those kind of people who speak a lot, but wakitoka tu hivi ni kama wanachukua mizigo zao zote. That's me. I'll speak a lot, but I'm not even happy. I might even be speaking, not always, but I might even be speaking, but I'm not even happy. Or I might even be speaking, let us I'm just talking, ndio mtu asinotice niko down, alafu anze kuniuliza maswali, justaki kuulizwa maswali. I don't know why. Yeah, but growing up without parents is hard. So if you're an orphan out there and each day you keep fighting, kudos girl, kudos my guy. Continue doing it. We are a lot of people, and it's this category of people, like the orphans, are people who have been forgotten in the society. People don't see like we are vulnerable, but we are another category of vulnerable people. And I'm not saying this ndio tena watu anze kunibash. It's true. Like our watu, like orphans, you know, orphans ni kama wajane. They're just a vulnerable kind of category of people in their own. Unapata like orphans wanakuanga tu vichwa ngumu, but it's because they feel loneliness and they want you to notice it, but they don't have a better way of doing it. So as I finish this video, it's not going to be so long, but I'm hoping you've enjoyed, you've learned something too. As I finish this, I'll conclude with 2 things. If you're a person taking care of an orphan, thank you for the good job. God bless you. And listen to these people, give them a chance to be heard and to be heard and to be seen and to be talked to. Give them that chance. And thank you so much. Sometimes words will not be able to appreciate you enough, but thank you. And if you're an orphan, this losing a parent is not easy, and you're not going to heal overnight. I always say, don't let people rush you into mourning. Mourning haina expiry period. That's what I believe. Or grieving, or whatever it is, haina like an expiry period. You might even mourn for the longest time possible, but you need to learn how to accept things as they come. Every day remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing. And if it's so hard, maybe you don't have money to pay a therapist, you can always write it down, you can always cry it out, as they always say. For me, speaking really goes a long way for me. And I think even me beginning this channel is because I also want to also continue accepting. So you can always interact with me on my social pages. I'm Jerry Kamau everywhere. Yeah, and I'll really appreciate if you continue. Tell a friend to like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'll be talking everything else, but for today, I was just giving a brief introduction of the most common thing that faces of us, which is loneliness. Loneliness is not going to be conquered in a night. My people, it's not going to end overnight. So you need, with time, you need to give yourself time so that you're able to learn one, and you're able to heal. But you need to give yourself time, and you need to work towards fighting the loneliness. That's what I'll say. So thank you so much. Until next time in another video talking about something else. Let's meet then. But for today, that's it. Tell a friend, click the notification bell, subscribe, and share my link. And thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye.